Hello everybody, I'm John Evans and you're watching another episode of Mid-Mod Money, the show that teaches you how to buy and sell vintage items for a profit. Thanks for watching. Happy Monday. We're happy to have you. You're going to see some incredible things on this show. Things like this cool Optic blue hand-blown vase that I got for $2. And how do I know it's hand-blown? It's got that pontil there where the glass blower breaks it off from the thing they're twisting it. We're going to learn a lot about glass today. That's what this episode is. I paid $2 for this at my local Goodwill, and I'm selling it for $22. I don't know if it's Blenko or not, but we'll get to all that. How do you know? Before we get started, I want to remind everyone to hit that like right there in the corner. Hit the like and also subscribe. Subscribe to the show because the first Monday of the month we give away a free vintage item and you're going to want to get in on that. So let's get to what we have here today. It's a theme show, vintage glass, 50s, 60s, 70s, vintage glass. How do you identify it? How do you know what's what? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Look at this baby. I can't believe I found this. I've never found one of these. This is made by Viking glass. It is called the Epic Candle Cup. I'm going to be referencing a list. I want to get this right. This is the Epic Candle Cup. And I guess it was made in the early 70s, 70, 71. If you see this in clear, it's the very early. They're rarer than the crackle. This one's got that crackle technique to it. And this is made by Viking glass. Great glass, early 70s, and it's worth $30 to $35. I paid $1. Even I was surprised that Christian Crossing thrift store had this for $1 American dollar. What a steal. Next thing I found is a different glass of a different variety. This is called Slag glass, or, it's like a colored glass. It was $4.99 at the Goodwill in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. And this was made by L.E. Smith Company. And they made tons of amazing glass, swung vases and everything. Well, this was part of their Slag glass line, kind of an autumn thing. And the reason I know it's L.E. Smith, because I saw it in a catalog cover on the internet. And there was all kinds of these colored glass nut situations. Some had squirrels on a nut. This one happens to be nut on nut action. And these are worth about $30. And I paid $2.99 or $4.99. Again, Slag glass started out as people putting actual slag from like ironwork or whatever, steel work, into glass to give it different colors. It ended up being just, sometimes at the end of the day, they will gather from the vats the colors that they used, and they would make like a marbleized kind of thing, a glass thing. This is a highly technical aspect of glass work that I had no idea of before today. Next thing I found, more of a traditional find. What do we got here? Tell them what we have. This, I found 5 of these glasses with this cool 60s, maybe 70s design. I stole these. I got 5 of these for $3 in an auction. That's ridiculous. I'm going to sell all 5 for $28. I don't know the maker. Didn't come up when I did the Google lens. So on we go. Speaking of vintage glasses, these are some of my favorites, and I think it's because my grandma had these. These are made by Anchor Hocking Company. These are called the Lido Milano Crinkle, and they have an amazing texture. Collectors call these the roly-poly glasses because they're so very round. They feel amazing in your hand, and they're not uncommon, but very collectible. This aqua blue color is not as common as the green. But 4 of these I found for 50 cents each. That's ridiculous. They're worth about $28 to $30 for 4, and they're, not that easy to find. But speaking of the Lido Milano line from Anchor Hocking, And you're going to hear a lot about Anchor Hocking today. They were everywhere in the vintage glass world, but this is a more common thing to find. The pitcher, the Lido Milano pitcher, Crinkle pitcher. This was $10 at Christian Crossing. Ouch. See, that's when I say it balances out. This was $1, too cheap. This was $10. This is actually, I'm going to sell this for 35 bucks. So 10 bucks, not a bad price on these. They're getting harder and harder to find in good colors and cheap. Even Goodwill is looking this stuff up. So 10 bucks, I don't mind paying that when I'm going to sell it for 35. All right, next thing I found, very unusual. Very unusual. I found a pair of vases with flat sides. And I'm thinking, why is there a flat-sided vase? Well, these are bookends. A bookend vase. And I wish I know who made them, because all that says is made in the United States. So it doesn't have a maker. I wish I did know who made these. I can't say for certain, but I do like the color and the concept. I'm going to sell these for about $26. I paid $3. So from my Goodwill there in Oakland, Maryland. All right, next thing I found. And this is new to me. 100% new to me. You see these glasses? Sometimes you see these in thrift stores. I had no idea of their value or what they were. Well, these, my friends, are Turkish. A company called Pasabahce. Ask for it by name. Pasabahce glasses. They are very brightly colored. These are juice glasses. They were 50 cents each at the Youth Ranch in Morgantown, West Virginia. I found 9 of these for $4.50. I think I'm going to ask 25 or 24 for 4. I'll split them up into 2 sets of 8 and ask $24 for 4. I'll make off of $4.50. I'm going to get $48. These are pretty collectible and vintage from Turkey. I had no idea. Next thing I found, let's talk about, we never talk about the failures. We never talk about the failures. I think I overpaid a little for this. I was pretty convinced this was Murano. And it may very well be Murano, but this shell dish, I paid $12, as you can see, which is, it's a lot of bread. $12 for a little dish. But I bought it because it had a very unusual, this texture is kind of a really bumpy texture. This is called Overshot frit. And that's where they're hand blowing something and they dip it into shards of broken glass, sharp glass, and then they throw it back into the fire there, and it gives it kind of a bumpy texture and a sparkly texture. So I just had never seen this before, and I was convinced it was Murano. Now I have seen some Murano. The Murano I've seen, this comes up a lot higher. So I mean, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Either way, without knowing, the most I'm going to be selling this for is $28, which I paid $12. I'm going to sell for $28. Not a great profit margin, but I was, I had that FOMO. Anybody else have that thrift FOMO? What if it's worth a bunch? I must not have had internet that day. That's a side note. Next thing I found, my research guy was all over this. I found this, and I was a little on the fence because I didn't know what it was. This is $3.50 from Christian Crossing. I love this aqua blue. This light blue is one of my favorites. This pattern is a feather pattern. This is Jeannette glass. Jeannette glass and 1950s. So this is all the way to the 50s. And I was a little shocked that this is only worth about 25 bucks. So I can't sell this for anything more than $25. but I only paid $3.50 for it. But this feather pattern is really captivating, and the color is great. But, you know, what can you do? If the market says it's worth $25, you know, it's worth $25. Nothing I can do about that. All right, we're down to our last 3 items. Let's do this first. This is a stunner. This is a absolute stunning find. And I'm just going to show it like this. These bowls are from a company in Finland. That's right. $4.99 each from Goodwill. They have this incredible design. And I knew immediately they were 60s or 70s or vintage. Sometimes, you know, people make things that look vintage that are new. But I kind of was like, this is unusual. And even though they were $4.99, I would not be deterred. So I picked them up. And as we got into the research, my fiance got into the research, we found out these were Finnish. Arabia of Finland is the company, and the designer, a man named Oiva Toikka. Did I say that right? Oiva Toikka. That's a real name. But super cool design. And what I found out, they stack. There's a third and then a lid. So this is actually part of like a stacking set. And these go between $25 and $30 because they're from 1966. Just an incredible, beautiful bowl. I mean, even if you don't have the set with the lid, you might buy these just because you like that 60s look. Finnish, Arabia of Finland, Oiva Toikka. New to me. All right. Couldn't be a vintage glass episode without Empoli. Empoli, we've talked about before. We've had Empoli glass. It's not a company. It's a place. A part of Italy where families of glass blowers have, you know, taught their craft for hundreds of years. And this is made in Italy, but it's not hand blown. This is... You can tell it's not hand blown because there's a seam running up the side of it. But it is made in Italy. It is Empoli region. But because this decanter has no stopper, it really hurts the value. If this had the stopper in it, this would be a $50, $75 decanter. Without it, pretty common to find it without it. They're more in the $25 range, but I do love this kind of glass. This was $5. I'm gonna ask $25, so no harm in that. Okay, did I cover everything? Well, no, we didn't. We almost forgot this little guy. I found this a while back. Did I already rip the sticker off? Dang it. This was a tough, I paid $5.99 for this, and when I took the sticker off, I saw that there was an anchor there, and as it is, this little turtle is worth between $20 and $25 from the 1970s. I paid $5.99. Again, not a great profit margin. Well, it's $20. And now for our final item, we have this incredible blue hand-blown vase. Now, if I didn't know any better, I would think this was a generic hand-blown blue vase. But then I get over here and I notice this sticker, Blenko Glass, a very collectible company of glass. This is a large size form for a Blenko vase. And it's not the best color, but it's a good color. There are people who do collect various colors in glass. Some people have a wall of blue, a wall of green, orange, what have you. But if this didn't have the Blenko sticker, I probably would have bought it, but I wouldn't have known that it was Blenko, and it would have probably taken me forever to determine that it was Blenko. But if you'll notice, it's not exactly 100% round at the top. So this could be a Blenko second which, you know, still has some value. Not as much as a first. A first might be 75 to 100. I'm going to ask 48 bucks. I paid $4 from my local Goodwill. So 48 off of 4. So let's take a look at everything. I spent 68 bucks. $68 from all this for everything. When it's all said and done, through mostly my booths at the antique malls and indoor flea market, I'm looking at $457 off of $68. So not a bad profit margin, and this stuff is pretty hot right now. Vintage glass is a hot area of collecting. So keep watching my program. I'll help you find it. Thanks for watching. You guys have been great. And remember to always round up.